Hey there, everyone. It's Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy with the Nautilus Dry Docks, and I'm here with Sub Ed Tortle and
Logan.
This is a very special edition of the videos here at the Dry Docks. I wanted to get some candid feedback from these two because I had some comments dropped on one of my latest videos pertaining to Seaview here behind me. So none of these guys know what I'm talking about or anything that's going on. So I'm going to give them the background at the same time you are. And by all means, chime in the comment section below and let me know what's going on. So we're going to open this up by saying, I am a Huckster.
Okay.
If you didn't know, I am a Huckster. This all came about because I posted up this Seaview at the end of my last video, and immediately afterwards, a gentleman who is going to remain unnamed at this time chimed in that said, "Hey, the Seaview you have looks reasonably good, but one would have to be rather hard pressed for it to be mistaken for anything close to the original filmed miniature." Okay, sure. I'm gonna go on to this. That's the topic of this. What ended up happening over the course of a few days, this particular individual penned 3,860 words on my YouTube channel, basically saying what a terrible model this is. So I've highlighted from the text here. I'm just looking for some feedback. So. This gentleman knows Ray, by the way. He said Ray is a truly good fellow and a talented modeler. But, and this is how everything all started out, Ray was very upset when he came out to my place and saw my model. And he discovered that his had some inaccuracies and that his length was totally incorrect. Now, I think you were there, right? When I asked Ray about the background.
I was there when those two talked. I now know who you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, no, actually, I wasn't there. I was told the story when the individual returned from his trip.
Ah, okay. All right.
Okay? Right? He was on a trip.
Yeah. So I just basically said, in defense of Ray, the reason his boat is so short was because he made the conscious decision to cut the middle section out so that it would fit in his Mitsubishi van, right? That was the story, and I'm pretty sure that's the case. That's what I heard. And then this guy got back and said, "No, you are absolutely mistaken with your above comment. You would have known that if you would have been standing as I was in my garage 30 plus years ago." And Ray's utter exasperation at the sight of my 103-inch long exact duplicate. And so, in defense of Ray, I asked, because this actually dropped while we were having our Dive Tribe meeting. And I asked Ray, I'm like, so right straight for the horse's mouth, was your model short because you made a big boo-boo or because you chopped it out? And he said it was because I chopped it out. Like literally cut center section out.
I bore witness to this.
Okay.
I bore witness because I rode in the Mitsubishi van, blue Mitsubishi van that Ray liked to use for photography. But as far as the Mitsubishi, I rode in that. And that's the exact reason Ray did that.
Okay.
When I met Ray in 92, because I didn't know what I was looking at. I had no idea, what scale, what's not. All I know is he had this beautiful Seaview sitting there.
Yeah.
Nobody besides some people over rivet counters will go up and actually point things out.
Bring the calipers out.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me. And I think, there's enough judgment in the world, and I'm not going to go.
Let's get it. We're going to touch on that, which is the ultimate theme of this video. Right. We're going to finish with that
and rivet counters.
Yeah. But okay. What about you, Logan? What are your thoughts about this interaction so far?
It is fair to criticize a model on its accuracy. However, if you bring up the point like, hey, this is inaccurate, and the point gets addressed in a valid way that wasn't just, hey, shut it, then I don't think there's any need to further things beyond that.
Okay. All right.
I always appreciate if someone, I'm an engineer. If I'm doing work and someone says, hey, something's off here, I appreciate if someone points it out. But if I have a reason for it being off, I don't want them to pursue that.
Okay, let's keep going here. I have no idea when or where or by whom that fit in a vehicle story emanated, but without question, it is not what happened. I was there. And then he further says, I am sorry, Ray. I'm presumably speaking to Ray through my comments. I do say no to your insistence that this distortion was deliberate.
And, no. As I said, the time was 1992. The location was Groton Subbase, North Lake. Ray said to me, and I have no reason to protect, because I happen to respect this other person. I actually miss you. You've done some phenomenal work.
Absolutely, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, he's done some phenomenal. Love what he did with the Jupiter too. But anyway, or the Gemini. I don't want to be quoted inaccurate on this as well. But I was there. Ray came out with it to me. Yes, granted, he saw the original miniatures. I have never seen them.
Mm-hmm.
I just simply say, I know for a fact it was foreshortened to fit in a Mitsubishi.
Well, that was the original kind of arguing point. But what ends up going on at this point, I think he forgets that Ray built it, and he starts, I think, in his mind thinking that I built it. Because then he goes into a page and a half on everything that's wrong with this.
Is this based on visual observation, or did he sit with this model and measure it?
Based off of, I suppose, what he saw in my video, because he's never seen this, I don't think. And he's comparing it to his work on his model and experience with the filming miniature. So what's kind of interesting to me, and I just want to bring this up as a point, Ray, if I remember correctly, did all of his drawings off of the television. He took loftings off of the actual screen, blew them up, and then built his model. So my question to you is the Seaview what the model was, or is the Seaview as it was on the screen?
Oh, and only Ray can answer this, but he's a rather humble man. I believe it was taken off Laserdisc.
Oh, there you go.
Which was the big deal at the time.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And I don't think that's what's in question here.
Yeah.
If I'm reading what you're saying right. But you work with what you have. And in the end, is it really a big deal?
And we're gonna talk about that, because that's the real focus of my talk here. So he goes on to say, hey, I made all of this tooling for building my model. He goes into he promotes his work and his model for pages and pages. And then he says, hey, all of these molds and fixtures may be indeed shortly coming up or available for sale. Okay. So now he's using my channel to start flogging his shit, which is starting to piss me off a little bit. I'm taking this a little bit personally, and I have to apologize.
And again, I want to be known. I have the ultimate respect for you, and I actually miss you very much. We had some good times back in the day.
Yeah. Speaking of which, he goes into a mini-page description. My credentials and reputation are highly regarded. Because I said something like this, your vision of what the Seaview should be and this version of the Seaview, they're two different things. And then he says, your use of the word vision may be taken as a personal and professional slight. I'm like, whew. He's obviously highly emotionally invested in this.
He obviously is. And let me tell you, again, he's a great dude. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm, again, asking motivation, especially since you just told me what may be coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any comments
on
this?
Biggest comment so far is I'm pretty sure I'm the only one here who has no idea who this is. Every point mentioned occurred before I existed.
Yes, exactly.
So the only input I have on any of this is the pure objective what has occurred. I don't know anyone involved in this more than I've met Ray.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've met Ray. So I might have met our mystery man, but I don't know his work enough to hear any of the models.
And I never ever have. I did not know who this guy was until he posted up comments, and then now I know him intimately. So
he has a valid point himself.
I am absolutely willing to concede that point. He's making a point, but what ended up happening here is that his, again, vision, and I'm going to use that word for what this boat should be, is in and of itself his personal opinion.
His vision.
He's judging everything else off of that vision. Right? So it's all good.
Yeah, the statement vision itself implies perspective.
You sound like a salesman to me now.
Well, a little bit, but then he goes on and accuses me of the same thing. Bob, you know what? With these comments, you're coming off as one of those miserable internet huckster types.
Okay.
There, see? I'm a huckster. You're only after money. Just saying. You're clearly not making any accurate models or are after the pursuit of excellence.
Is there any discussion of the DeBoer? His comparison of the DeBoer?
I believe he did mention at one point in here that the 80 was a little nasty and the 58 was much better.
Okay.
Because
what does he think about the Mobius?
That it's a piece of garbage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had made a comment in here, and this will kind of wrap things up. I made something a suggestion that most somewhat emotionally intelligent individuals would just say, "Hey, I just found this video. Saw your model of the Seaview. Looks really awesome. I'm glad you brought this vision of the Seaview to light. I noticed a lot of inaccuracies in it, and if you'd like, maybe we could get together and I could outline them for you or something like that." But no, it turned into an attack. And I made the comparison. I'm like when a kid hands you a drawing of Mommy and Daddy holding hands, do you rip them a new one because they're not anatomically correct?
Absolutely.
So a little bit upsetting there. And then he has another 2 pages on his background and all the work that he did.
Okay.
All of that stuff.
Impressive resume.
I'm just going to finish up. What I see going on here is you glue together and then rattle can commercially available kits for an audience who don't have the skills to do this remedial level of work for themselves, all at an inordinate fee considering the results I see presented.
Okay.
And then I had basically told him, look, I'm kind of done with this. And if you just continue writing novels on my thing, I'm just going to delete it. He says, as for deleting it, I would not recommend it, as it will look suspicious, as though you're trying to cover something up. Besides, if you do, it could easily appear elsewhere at a site where you could never delete it. And in perpetuity, I recommend you leave things be.
Okay.
The end.
This is a hobby, man. 80 to 90% of the people are not going to look at this at the level you choose to. Okay. Now, it's easy to disparage, especially when you have a motive of making sales. It's easy to disparage. I have run with hundreds of RC submariners who would kill for this thing. Okay. Nothing is ever perfect in your mind's eye. And to sit and slate another person, and I have no involvement, no investment in here whatsoever. My motivation is to see people enjoy themselves.
Absolutely.
I have a personal issue with rivet counters. Okay, because obviously they don't have much of a life. Okay, well, they look. If a person takes it upon himself to super hyper detail things, God bless you.
Yeah.
Okay, but 80 to 90% of the users out there do not have the time. He said it himself about these people. So he's disparaging 80% of the people out there who are unable to build this. Because what was his words about them being, were they hacks or something?
Oh, no, I was a hack.
No. But the people who don't have the time to build it.
People do not have the skills to do the remedial level work themselves.
That's 80% of humanity out there.
Yeah.
And that's how you feel about them?
Now, my thought on this, perfectly fine to be a rivet counter in my mind. I am a huge fan of the Disney Nautilus, by
absolutely.
the way. I'm seen by many people to be an expert on the Disney Nautilus. Having said that, I have seen hundreds of efforts by people all over the world to reproduce what is a very challenging subject.
Yeah.
Never once have I said, that is ugly, it's inaccurate, you should be ashamed at what you put out, and this is the main topic of what I wanted to talk about here. I don't care who you are, what your skill level is. If you attack a project with passion and drive, and you're proud of what you put out, I say more power to you. I will congratulate you every single time on your accomplishments. Now, maybe I'll say, hey, I can help you with your project, or do you need something that I can provide to you that would make it better? But I will never tell them that their efforts are remedial or laughable or anything like that.
What is the motivation behind it? Because I know this person. He's a good person. Okay.
Apparently, I stroked him the wrong way.
but why? I mean, these things are as rare as hen's teeth.
I think honestly, it was because I told him he was wrong about Ray, and he didn't like being told he was wrong.
But Ray, Ray said it on a diatribe.
I have it recorded. I literally have it recorded.
He's a great person. He's done some phenomenal work, and I enjoy watching him on YouTube. And it just surprises me he would come at it like this. There's nothing wrong with pointing out issues. Mm-hmm. But you know what? We're all human beings here. What are you trying to do from this soapbox?
Yeah.
But
and I told him, I'm like, in any other world, and if it would have played out differently, I would love to have known him more directly.
Yeah.
Because I've never met him. I didn't know anything about him until this. But I'm all about networking with people who are passionate about submarines and science fiction and fantasy and all of that stuff, particularly very talented individuals. But after this, I don't think as a person I would enjoy knowing this individual. So be that as it may, we're never going to be friends, perhaps. Maybe that'll change. Maybe we'll meet in person one day. I don't know. Maybe then we'll have a beer and
it is so easy to beat something down.
Right.
For one human to do this to another. It's harder to really do constructive criticism.
Right.
And help lift them up if you feel it is wrong. Don't tear them down further.
Yeah.
To make yourself. Because to me, come on, man. You're just trying to get, you're pumping yourself up to feel better.
I think that may be a little of that. Yeah. But
you need to look at that.
What bugs me a little bit more, I do this for a living, right? This is how I make my money. It's how I feed my family. Somebody in the comments said, man, I'd do anything for a 48-inch Seaview. And he immediately commented up, no, you don't. See my comments above. Now he's taking food out of my mouth. Now I'm getting even more grumpy. All right. High level comments though now from you, because you're a newcomer to this hobby, relatively speaking, compared to people like Ed and Ray and all of that.
Yeah, it's only recently that I've tried building my own boat, mostly from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Took a hull, took out all the components from it, put them all back together, got it working. Probably. And I can speak from that experience. As a newcomer, it's hard to hear comments like that.
It's scary, right?
Yeah.
You're like, geez, I'm not going to share anything. I'm going to have my ass reamed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's all of the creative process when you start going out like that. It's difficult. Having said that, looking through the comments and hearing what he said, there were nuggets of truth all throughout them.
Absolutely. I'm willing to concede that this model is not 100% accurate to the filming miniature.
Absolutely.
100%. Now, for someone who looks at it, the 95% of people that look at it, they're going to say that's a freaking nice model at Seaview.
Exactly. And that's the thing. 80 to 90% of the people are going to want to walk home with this.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with what anyone else creates. I'm proud of the fact that I made it. I understand its value. I understand its shortcomings. I understand its benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not good to disparage it from a higher standing.
In 1994, I was at the Subregatta, the 1994 Subregatta, and there was an individual there who became president of the subcommittee, a man by the name of Jim Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jim, I don't know how this worked out, but he said, "Hey, Ed, I was looking at his skipjack.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 148 the bore skipjack sitting there. And I was looking at it. He goes, yeah, it's for sale." And he opened up the hull and showed. I'm like, "How much you want for it?" Talk. I said, "Take this." He goes, "Sure. I'm looking to go smaller, sure." "Jim, thank you."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll make this real short. 20 minutes later, I was doing something. I overheard two people talking about it. I heard these two guys tearing this boat that I just bought apart. I overheard them talk, look at it. It's a joke. Yeah, it's a visual. They had nothing good to say about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what that made me feel like?
Yeah.
I wanted to walk away from the hobby. I wanted to walk. I came that close to walking away from the hobby. What did it do for them?
Yeah.
It made them feel better.
Well,
And where's that boat today?
yours?
Yeah.
You still have it.
And it's won more awards than I know what to do with.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, there you go. I hope this didn't come across too much as man bashing this particular individual. What I want everybody to walk away with is, I don't care what you built, what it looks like, how it performs. If you attacked that project with all of your abilities, you did it to the best way that you could have. Congratulations to you. You deserve nothing but praise. As more than 95% of people out there managed to accomplish. And I guess as a word of advice, be nice to people. It comes back to you tenfold. You never know what your words are going to do, be it to tear somebody down or build them back up again. On behalf of Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy, Sub-Ed,
And me.
and Logan, you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you next time.